The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate. I'm Tim Calloway. We have a very special guest for you today, all the way from my home state of Texas. As a matter of fact, Austin, Texas, with the Bailey Robb Group. Todd Bailey. Todd, how are you?
I'm very, very well today. How are you?
I'm doing great. I think I'm a little warmer than you, though. I look at that jacket and I go, man, it must be chilly.
Yeah, every about once a winter here, we have kind of an ice apocalypse that lasts about 48 hours. And so I think we're at the tail end of it, but I've got my Yellowstone jacket on here, right? And feeling nice. Cozy.
You're looking cozy, man. You're looking like you've been sitting in a sauna with that nice warm jacket. And I'm sitting here going, it's almost 90 degrees outside. I'm going to start sweating in this interview, but that's okay. That's okay.
Well,
hey, Todd.
Go ahead. I'm a big golfer, so I'm very envious of you Central Florida people or Southern Florida.
Todd, be envious all you want. Just don't ever be envious of my golf game anymore.
Or mine. Mine's terrible as well. I just practice all the time.
Right? I'm one of those guys. No, I practice while I'm on the course. And they're like, you shouldn't. And I'm like, no, I do. All right. So let me ask you this, Todd. I ask everybody this before we get personal about you and how, everything else. I got to know, were you a kid of 5 years old back in the day, tugging at your parents' pant leg and saying, hey, mom and dad, how do I become a realtor? Or were you like most of us where you just kind of fell back into it?
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely fell back into it. I moved to Austin because all my college buddies ended up here. We wanted to start a restaurant. And as you can imagine, some 320, mid-20 something trying to start a bar and a restaurant. I went over like a lead balloon.
Right.
And I worked with an apartment locator when I came, and she told me, hey, look, you can make $1,000 just showing people apartments and leasing out apartments. And suddenly I had no job. I had moved to Austin. I had $4,000 in credit card debt, which seemed like the end of the world to me at the time. I started leasing a few apartments here and there, and man, I never did a real estate contract, and I made $90,000 in my first year. And that was
great.
That was 20 years ago. So that'd be like 110, 120 today. And so I was like, there's something to this. So yeah. And then I proceeded to go into, luxury real estate. And I think I made about $25,000 the next year. So, I've learned like this. Well, I didn't know anyone that owned a nice house.
That's not very luxurious.
No, it was not.
Yeah, no, that's all right though. Hey, learning curves for all of us in different shapes and forms. It sounds like now though things are really doing well for you. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about today. Tell me about your team. Tell me about how you guys function, or better yet, how the team started.
The team started, I've got a business partner. Her name is Jillian Robb. She's extremely talented young lady. And I worked at the same brokerage before we came to EXP. 1 year I got MVP of the company, and she got the rising star of the company.
Okay.
And we kind of learned that I really like doing podcasts and video and being out there in front of the public. And she likes to be kind of in the back end, right?
Yeah.
Doing the nuts and bolts, keeping us out of trouble, doing the compliance and things that absolutely drive me bananas. And so we joined forces, and we've been kind of going for it ever since.
Nice. No, that sounds like a match made. I've always, in my life, going way back, have partnered with different people for different reasons. And you always get the one that's like, man, we're so perfect together. We're just the same. And then that never works out because we're always at the turn by 2:00, having a cold daddy before the next 9 holes, both of us. And I'm like, hey, which one of us are working? I don't know, And then I get the one that's opposite of me, and I don't understand why they do anything that they do. So I think I can't win on that, but it sounds like you guys got it down. That's awesome.
I think partnerships are really challenging. I think one of the keys of our success has been we really have the hard conversations. I get, she gets really frustrated with me about things, and I get really frustrated with her about things, but we really are transparent. We try to keep everything out there on the forefront. And I think, as we're moving to this team dynamic more and more in real estate, I think we're going to see a lot of teams fall apart for the reasons you were talking about. I think one of the keys to success with a partnership is going in, number one, with, laying out those expectations. And maybe I'm getting a little off track here, but I think sometimes teammates join up thinking it's going to be easier as a team. I don't think that that's the case. Sometimes in a lot of ways, I think you can have more success, but it may actually be even more challenging because you have to have some clarity around your partnership and who's doing what. And if it's the right hand and left hand, you need to be running together, like chugging along, right? The minute you start going the opposite direction, you're in big trouble.
Over. Yeah. Yeah. That's good advice, man. That's really good advice, because I think a team can be quote unquote easier in its own way, and at least take away some of your weaknesses that you don't thrive in doing. Doesn't necessarily make life any easier, but it makes those challenges easier. So yeah, for sure. I think that's great advice. So let's talk about, we talked about the team a little bit and how that works. Let's put our prognostication hats on here for a minute and start predicting the future, because we're probably so great at it. What does the next 1, 3, maybe even as far as 5 years look like for the team, or specifically you or the team? And how do you plan on achieving it?
That's a great question. So every year, we do our planning at the beginning. We try to do it at the end of November, beginning of December, so that we really hit the ground running at the beginning of the year. So the next 1 year, we've been at a local brokerage for 13 years. We came to EXP and we have a very strategic plan that we want to put in place. We want to attract as many people as we can. And that's going to include creating some culture for the people that join our organization. It's going to mean, a little bit of coaching from me. I'm not planning to be a Tom Ferry by any means, but, adding some value to people that come to EXP. And, we're going to continue to sell. Our goal is always right around between 50 and 75 units. Generally, we sell we do about 60 transactions. We feel like that's a good work-life balance for our team. And there's enough revenue that, keeps us, with the ability to take some trips and come to South Florida and visit guys like you and try to get out and play a little golf.
Have a little fun in life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, go ahead and extol the greatness for us of the Austin area. For those who don't know, I'll leave myself out of that equation, but talk about Austin and your surroundings and what's going on there.
Yeah, this town I've been here 20 years now, and it used to be kind of a sleepy college town with the state capital here. And now we're a Silicon Valley, a mini Silicon Valley. We've got, Tesla's here, HomeAway's here, Apple has a huge campus here. So Oracle's got, continues to expand here. So we're a real tech forward city now. And that's brought a lot of people from California, New York, all over, from all the coasts. A couple of reasons that are driving that. We've got no income tax here in the state of Texas. We do have fairly high property tax that kind of shocks people when they're shopping for houses, but we're a real business friendly area, especially in Central Texas. But Texas as a whole is very business friendly. So Austin has all the things that come with that. We've got a younger workforce. We've got, new awesome restaurants to eat at. We've got bars and restaurants and these new social clubs that are popping up all over town. It's a really awesome place to live.
Yeah, fun stuff there, and a lot of things north and south of you to do if you want to get out of Dodge, so to speak. And of course, you can always be anywhere within a couple of hours of New City, which I think is great too. If you just want to see something different,
Yeah, I think one of the other things that our airport's very accessible and very approachable. So you can, be in Florida, you can be in Denver. This summer's really hot here. So, but it's really easy to get to Utah and Colorado and Montana from here. So,
Right. Yeah, fantastic. So let's talk about challenges. I mean, okay, so you're in a great environment there in Austin, got a great collaboration with a partner there. Things are going really well. But other than, and I'm going to take away one of your answers on purpose because everybody says it, but other than time, Todd, what are one of the, if I could stop by Hogwarts and pick up a magic wand and fly into that airport and say, Todd, I'm going to take care of one of these challenges. Bazoom, gone. What might that be that really is a challenge on an ongoing basis?
I think one of the challenges, so there's two things, work-life balance, which I might be copping out a little bit on the time thing here, but
it's okay.
the work-life balance is one of our challenges that we strive
Right.
to handle. So I have two small kids, 5 and 7. My
Wow.
business, our director of operations, Jacqueline, has a 3-month-old. So we really strive to keep that, our work-life balance. So that's one of the challenges that we have. Also, Austin's a really tech savvy city.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have to work diligently. I mean, diligently to stay ahead of the tech curve, because people here, their safe searches need to be great. The communication needs to be great. The approachability to our websites and the things that we're putting out there needs to be strong. Our
Sure.
Instagram needs to be strong. Our YouTube needs to be strong. So I think staying ahead of that curve, sometimes I feel like I should go to a city outside of Austin and take a deep breath and be like, okay, this stuff really works well in a slower paced community, but I'm never going to do that.
Todd, I'm just thinking, I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I know Austin well. I know, like I said, my brother lived there for years. I used to hang out there a little bit. And I'm thinking about where I am now when you said that. And I go, hey, just come to West Palm Beach. Everybody's 70. But anyway, bum.
I mean, my parents are in that bracket.
Right.
For whatever reason, I'm the tech support in my family now. And
Right. It's
I
just
don't,
your age.
yeah, I mean, and I think my daughter's, she's 7. I think she's about to pass me. So
Right. Yeah, I get it. It is funny though. It's like you meet with someone here that's from here, as you know, like on Palm Beach Island, and they're like, "Here, write my number down." And I'm thinking, okay, let me write that down. Does anybody own a pen?
well, this will show my age. I actually have a pen right here.
That's so funny because I've got one right here. You and I are Gen Xers, though. We're right in the middle,
We
so
are.
we're the best of both worlds. I always say we invented the internet. Our generation had the PCs when I was a young man in my home, and you're all used to. My son, it's interesting. Not to talk about me. You're here to talk about, but you mentioned your children and their ages, and I'm like, you and I are 3 years apart. But my sons, I have 4 sons, are 30 to 23.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a big difference there. So
how do you even, I mean, thank goodness they're older. If I had 4 kids, I wouldn't be able to be on this podcast.
man, it was I'm going to tell you, a blast. And it was in Dallas. They were all born in Dallas and grew up in Dallas. And then about early teens, we moved to Arizona for a dozen years, or not a dozen, but 10 years. And now, West Palm Beach for the past 5 or 6. And it's just been a blast. And they all live here. They, as adults, got married here and all that stuff. I got one left in Arizona, but it's been a blast, man. But cherish everything, Todd. You know that. Cherish all those years right now, because I can barely remember any of them. Now I'm like, what happened back in '95?
Yeah.
What baseball team? But then I was I was on the Buzzy Bees. The Buzzy Bees. That's Dallas for you. But no, good stuff, man. How would anybody, Todd, get in touch with you? Just if they wanted to, buy a home, list a home, or even better yet, maybe look at joining your organization.
I mean, I think the best way to get a hold of us is our phone number, which is 512-900-5775. That's a virtual office number that rings on all 4 of our phones. We're quick to respond. Or you can look us up at team at Bailey Robb Group, and that's B as in boy, AILEY, ROBB group.com. And, I'm pretty easy to find too. If you type in Todd Bailey, Realtor Austin, that's, I make it really easy. And my personal cell phone is still on Facebook. So that'll
There you
also
go.
date me a little bit.
How about your AOL account? You got that running?
My AOL, I still have a 486 in the back of my closet somewhere.
That is so funny. My spouse, my wife, will not give up that 1996. It's like the spare, all bad people go to you know where AOL account that she gives people, and then they'll shut up. Like if they, can I get your email address, ma'am, to send you some info? Yeah. It's this, and it's even a weird deal at AOL.com, and they're like, oh, okay, and it's like something triggers in their mind, like, this lady's never gonna buy, this lady's never gonna contact me. She's got AOL. It- Obviously, she works for a Fortune 500 company. She has plenty of email addresses, but that's her go to HE double hockey sticks email account. So
I have a Hotmail account, which is
nice.
maybe a slight upgrade
step
from
above.
AOL, but not too much.
I mean, you didn't get yours from a CD that you got in the mail.
That's true. It's true.
Remember
I
that?
didn't. I
Hey, look, honey.
I
we got
remember
this.
we used to try to do. I wanted to put CDs out to people like with our
Yeah.
information
Sure.
and a video back in the day, but everyone was afraid that CD would give them a virus, so nobody wanted to plug
Right.
it into their
You don't
computer.
know what you burned on there. You don't know what's burned. I remember the cold call cowboy when I was at Bear Stearns in Dallas in 1992, and it was $10,000 and it was like the neatest thing in the world. It was 10 grand to put all your information on a CD that people could put in their computer and then just show it. It would just show everything, and a narration would go. And I was like, only 10G, guys, and we can just throw these in people's cars and they're gonna find us. I feel stupid. I feel stupid now thinking about it. Cold call cowboy. Okay. Yeah. Those are the good old days, Todd. So last thing, Todd, give us you're the hit record today. I'm the DJ spinning the record. Take us out this last minute, some positivity, something on your heart, soul, or mind that you'd like to share with the audience. And just tell us what you're thinking.
If you're a realtor or if you're in the sales business, I think the reality is, we're going through the shift, and I've been through a couple of shifts now, right? The people that show up, it's like, yoga people or weightlifting people, the people that show up and get on their yoga mat or lift the weights on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be hard either. Spend an hour and a half Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and take Friday and Saturday off. And you'll be amazed at what you can do in that short period of time in a year, right? If your goal is to do 50 units, or if your goal is to do 250 units, if you really focus on that hour and a half, and that's been kind of the key to my success, right? Is just consistency. And I don't, you go to some of these other motivational people and they're going to tell you like, hey, you got to do massive action and you got to do, ruin your whole life. Work-life balance is very important because, if you go to the gym and you do, 50 reps your first day at it, you're going to burn yourself out. But if you did 5 reps every single day, you'll be good. So I just don't want people to think that they can't make it in this time. I think now's a really good time for people that are in our industry.
Yeah, that's great sage advice. I think I'm going to go to the gym, do 5 reps, and come back home. That sounds good. I was going to show up and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bye. Todd said so.
That's all you need to do.
That's all I need. Todd, Bailey Rob Group, eXp Realty, Austin, Texas. Thanks so much for being on the program. I've really enjoyed it. Had a good laugh. Learned a lot about you. I look forward to talking to you next 3, 6, 9 months. I don't know if you're going to be in Orlando for the shareholder meeting in May, but we'll be up there, and love to have a beverage of choice with you at some point.
If you're going to be there, I'm going to make it a point to be there.
Awesome stuff, Todd. Hey, have a great weekend.
Hey, thank you.